Good evening and welcome to online live psychic readings, which is part of the Universal Spiritualism Group. I'd like to welcome you all here this evening. My name is Veronica Jenkins and I will be supporting Nico in reading all the comments that are coming through and asking any questions that are put in the comments. Nico has already gone into trance, so he's already with his guides and inspirers speaking through him, and I'll just bring him on stage now for you. Good evening.
Good evening to you, my dear one. Always a pleasure. And greetings to all who have joined us this evening. It is with gratitude and humility that I connect with each of your wonderful essences. Fear, my dear ones. Fear is what we would like to commence with. The understanding of this fear of your realm throughout your lives, through your academic studies. As one was prepared, there was no fear. Through all achievements, preparation was indeed necessary to reduce any fear, even seeking employment. Each of you had a clear understanding if you were, in fact, capable of the task at hand. Therefore, if you felt confident, there was no fear. In your realm, my dear ones, preparation seemed to be everything. Practice, learning, offered you the security you were seeking so you wouldn't face the fear. And yet, each of you still possess this fear within. And that as it has morphed to relationships, finances, careers, friendships. It is not so much fear of what you are engaged with, but fear within yourselves. The one element provided since you've entered this physical life of yours, which offered you stability, your love, your confidence, your generosity, and then, yes, your wisdom, the inner knowings. And this has always been your strength. For it is always the connection to your essence. An essence which knows no fear. So why then, my dear ones, do you still fear the one aspect of yourselves which never required any preparation? Throughout your struggles, throughout your fears, throughout your confusion, Do any of you seek within? Do any of you connect to your essence? To not only feel the sense of peacefulness, the power of your own energy, the abundance of love you have within, but to regain your own confidence, to believe that nothing is unattainable in your realm, and nothing and no one should ever cause you to fear yourselves. Yes, fear, I sense, is the topic of tonight's discussions. For within your questions, as you speak your words, focus on the fear that brought up these questions. I thank you, my dear one. We may commence.
Thank you. Laurie has actually picked up straight away what you're talking about with fear, and says fear can be a helpful component in this life, can it not? And follows that up with, well, in this human existence on this planet, having the feeling of fear seems essential to decision making.
My dear, this is the mind, the adrenaline behind the fear within the physical form. Decision making, my dear, is based on your thoughts. And yet, your intuition already possesses the answers, the decisions, the choices. As fear is created in your realm, so are any other thoughts which back fear as a positive. When one, my dear, relies on fear for power, for the adrenaline it provides, one perceives that it is because of fear that the correct decisions were made, the correct steps taken within your journey. And yet, my dear, when one is focusing on fear as an ally, if you will, one is abandoning their essence. One is not trusting its own power, its own source of knowledge, its own connection to our realm. When one is focusing on fear, one is not affording themselves to be the receiver of their own clarity. So I ask you, my dear one, which do you believe to provide you more power, more clarity, proper decision making on your journey, relying on the fear of the physical, or trusting the power and knowledge of your own essence? Yes, my dear. Within that question, once you find the answer, I am certain you will view fear quite differently. I thank you, my dear one.
Laurie is following on from that, saying if fear is your focus, then what focus could be equally of import and merit? So I guess she means what could we focus on instead of the fear?
Yes, my dear. Yourself. Do not view yourself, my dear, as what you view in your reflection. You are more than your physical form. Do not rely on all the physical attributes. Seek further, my dear. If you are unable to see your essence, you certainly are able to feel your essence. Do not continue to be so preoccupied with your daily events of your own, for then one forgets the purpose. Each of you are more than this existence you view yourselves in. You are more than your careers, your financial responsibilities, and the relationships you are currently engaged with. Rather than focusing externally on everyone else and your surroundings, why not place the focus on your essence, on your own journey, on your growth, on your pain, on all the lessons? It is a matter, my dear one, of understanding what is truly important to you. And then one shall always remember why they have embarked on this journey in the first place. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. I'm going to say a few hellos to people now because we got straight into some questions about fear there. So I'd like to say hello to Silva, Rish, Tanita, Anne, Donna, Nicole, Amanda, Sharon, Nikki, Bernadette, Donna Mitchell. Yes, you're in the wrong. Sorry, not. You're in the right place. We are going to move on to doing messages soon. Don't worry. Cindy and Joanne and Charlie as well. So if I could ask people, if you do have questions about mediumship, the spirit world, then you can certainly ask those questions. But if you would like messages as well, you're more than welcome to ask for messages from loved ones. So we'll start with Cindy. I'm going to look at the most recent ones to make sure that people asking the questions are still here. Okay. So Cindy is saying, hi, hope all is well. I still think about past relationship that is not available. What's going on with my energy attracting the right romance companionship?
My dear one, how is one able to move forward if they are living in the past? View yourself, my dear, correctly. Do not allow any guilt or shame to transcend from this past relationship. One often reflects and wonders what they could have achieved differently, and how they could have been differently, what they could have offered if they offered enough, My dear, when one relationship does not last, rather than feel sorrow and regret and shame, view yourself, my dear, within that entire relationship. What have you learned about yourself? What changes occurred within yourself? How did this relationship further the growth of your essence? What lessons did you learn of yourself, my dear? Learning is vital in order for one to move on, in order for one to meet another, to join them on their journey. Yeah, my dear, it is simpler to feel regret, sorrow, guilt, and then seek another relationship to provide a second chance, if you will. And that is the thinking of your realm. That, my dear, pertains to the fear we mentioned earlier. Do not fear the lessons, my dear one. Honor that relationship, for it occurred in order for you to learn much about yourself. Embrace the changes, my dear one, for this is why you are on your journey. Become the better version of yourself, if you will. Offer unconditional love and ask for nothing in return, my dear. Do not become preoccupied with when this next relationship will occur, but rather embrace this time alone for your own self-discovery, and embrace the changes within, my dear one. Love yourself unconditionally. Remove the shame and the guilt. Oh, my dear one, how can you love another if you have difficulties loving yourself? Unconditionally, my dear one. And then you will be in a better position to offer that unconditional love to another. And only then will you be able to receive it tenfold. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Rish Adsum asks, Noah, please can you speak on the importance of engaging in our physical lives whilst balancing our spiritual aspects?
Yes, my dear. Though that may be perceived as a difficult question. It all comes down to prioritizing, my dear one. For without the spiritual realm, you would not be in the physical realm. So it's not a matter of balancing. It is prioritizing which version of yourself to place first along your journey. When one is attempting to balance, proves to be the most difficult task on one's journey. For within your realm, there are many changes. Your realm is unpredictable. Once one assumes they understand their journey, it seems to change rapidly, causing more confusion. For they are truly engaged only on the physical realm. Yet, my dear, when one places the importance to our realm, better understands their own essence, better is able to connect to their essence, then they always feel the essence is near them. And they're always aware that our realm is very near. So even as there are unpredictable changes in yours, by continuously being connected, if you will, to ours, those changes are insignificant. In simpler terms, my dear, allow the pendulum to weigh heavily toward our realm. Then, as you encounter the changes of yours, the pendulum balances on its own. For if you seek to balance both realms, as those drastic changes occur in yours, the pendulum naturally becomes unbalanced and weighs heavily in yours. So trust our realm, trust your essence. Continue to feel, spirit. And receive the guidance. For not only is the guidance powerful, my dear, it is also able to detour you from those unpredictable changes which are about to occur. Trust, my dear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you, and welcome to all the new watchers that have come in. If you would like to ask Nico and his guides and inspirers, Noah, who are working through him tonight, any questions or ask for messages from loved ones, then please do so in the comments. We have Anne Weir saying, I still feel guilty and shame about my past. Please, Mum in spirit, tell me what I can do.
My dear, through your words spoken of shame and guilt, the pain is quite evident, my dear. But why, I ask you, do you view yourself with such low self-esteem, my dear? Why are you reflecting on past events with such regret? There are no regrets, my dear. All occurred as they were intended to occur. Relationships, my dear, are predestined. By forgetting the relationship, You are essentially forgetting that essence who, through honor, agreed to join you, my dear, for your growth. Ask yourself, my dear, why you feel this shame. Ask yourself, what do you believe you could have done differently? And then, my dear, ask yourself, why did the events unfold as they did? If you are aware now of what you perceive you could have done differently, my dear, why did you not? Relationships, my dear, occur in order to provide you the opportunity to ask yourself these questions. This, my dear, is how one learns about themselves. Ask yourself, my dear, which was your essence and which was your physical being? Your actions, my dear, how were they affected from your physical realm? And how were they provided through your loving essence? Do not ever, my dear, regret the past, for the past is required in order for you to live your future. Embrace it, my dear, and learn from it. There is no reason, my dear, to offer your apologies to the ones whom you've lost, as you have never lost them. Honor them, my dear, as they honor you. For even though you feel your shame, they have learned much by the mere connection with you in your realm. They're asking, my dear, if you have learned your lessons through the connection with them. The lessons, my dear, most are subtle, most are powerful, but all must be sought in order to learn. One cannot seek the truth if they are consumed with guilt and shame. For then, my dear, they are lost in the past. Set aside your regrets. Honor those relationships and honor yourself, my dear. For you are worthy of honor. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We have Beverly Weaver, who's asking, why am I craving for my late husband when he passed in 2006?
My dear, his essence is near. I am certain, my dear, you are aware of his essence near. Subconsciously, you are setting distance not accepting the actuality that he is near, hesitant. For if one accepts, my dear, the truth that the essence is always connected, many times one goes against their teachings, their beliefs, their survival in their realm. So, though your mind is providing this resistance, your essence is being drawn to the pull of his essence. There's a battle, if you will, occurring within the mind, questioning, not truly believing. And yet the thoughts occur, the visions within the sleep state. Who would you listen to, my dear? Your mind and how it has been trained, what to believe, or your essence, my dear, connected to his. It is not a matter of connecting with him, to hear his words, to receive clarity for anything specific within your life at this time. It is serving more, my dear, as an awareness, if you will, an awakening to truly believe. Blind faith, my dear, in order for you too to remember your essence. As mentioned earlier, the honor between one essence and the other does not cease when one's physical life ends. This is proof, my dear. But there is still honor toward you and the service being provided. For his essence is familiar to you, my dear, which does not bring fear. So trust in that, my dear one. Feel his essence. Ask him to draw near in order for your understanding of our realm to expand, my dear one. Do not believe that all the teachings of your realm are accurate, my dear. Listen to your heart. Trust your intuition. That is where you will find the accuracy. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Sharon has a very similar question in that she lost her husband in 2009 by his own hand. She's struggling and can't stop talking to him and would like to know how to stop.
My dear, once more, this is your guilt. Well, many times I'm sensing, my dear, you have asked yourself what you could have done differently to prevent his passing, rather than live with that regret, my dear. Honor his essence. honor the time you shared with His essence once more. It is a shared experience within your physical realms, but it is always, my dear, an individual journey of each. There is nothing, my dear, you could have provided to change the outcome. Nothing, my dear, you should feel ashamed of. Anger, regret. For the more you consume your time reflecting, the more you are losing the focus on your own individual journey, my dear. Rather, my dear, feel the emotions. Feel the emotions you felt then. The anger, the bitterness, the despair, the confusion, the shame, the guilt. And now, my dear, focus on what you feel today. Focus on the difference where you have let many of those emotions fade, and yet you are still clinging to a few. Recognize this, my dear, as your lessons. The occurrence providing you these lessons, for you are able in depth to feel various emotions for your own growth as an essence. The difficult lesson now, my dear, is to allow those which you cling to for dear life to fade. For within this, you will find your greatest challenge and the greatest lessons learned. To honor His essence, my dear, is the same to honor your own by learning these lessons and overcoming this obstacle. For the remembrance, my dear, is that these lessons are provided in your realm. You most certainly, my dear, will align once more with His essence when your journey is complete. So focus, my dear, on these lessons which you still are attempting to learn by letting go. And this, my dear, is where you trust yourself more than you've trusted yourself in the past. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We have Patricia Langton saying, I would love to hear from my mother in spirit. Her name is Patricia.
Yes, my dear. I sense your void, my dear. I sense your anxiety. You feel as if it's proving to be more difficult to continue on without her advice, relying on her patience. a support. Yes, my dear. I feel the pain in the heart. But I'm also aware, my dear, that the difficulties occur for you who are unable to focus on her essence near. You have felt energy near. You have questioned out loud if it was her. And then you found yourself speaking to no one and thought it foolish. And yet, my dear, it is a simpler task to hear her words or her message through others. For there's acceptance that they possess more powerful connection to our realm than you at this time. But my dear, as I am aware of her essence, and as she is going to come forth and speak to you, I am certain, my dear, not only you will feel her essence, but so shall all who are listening now. Your essence is energy, my dear. We are all connected through the same energy. Hello, my pretty girl. I hear you. I see you. I'm with you. I'm aware of the words you want to hear. I am extremely proud of you, more so than I ever have been. Such courage to face fears. Such courage to feel pain. Such courage to accept loss. Such courage to wipe away your tears. You feel me in your heart now. You feel me near you. I'm always near you. All you have to do is look. By just remembering me, you'll feel my love. We are always connected. We are always one. Don't ever forget that. No problems you face are ever as big as they seem. They never should be. Believe in yourself, as I've always believed in you. love you always. Energy, my dear one. Energy united eternally. Feel her love, my dear, as the energies are of love. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We have Jennifer, who says, my daughter passed right after New Year in 2023. It was unexpected. I miss hearing from her and want to know she's okay, and any message she may need to give to me, being her passing was unexpected.
My dear one, we have been waiting for you to step forth as the essence of your daughter, my dear, has been present since we have begun. Yes, my dear. A truly loving essence. An essence who adored you as the role of the mother. Who truly loved you, my dear. For she has been quite persistent since her arrival near. She is very well aware, my dear, of your desire to hear from her, to soften your pain. Now, my dear, a few words regarding your relationship within this particular life, my dear. You have obtained the role of mother, and yet this beautiful, loving, powerful connection of your essence and her essence does not require titles, my dear. Though a parent's loss proves to be quite difficult in your realm, a loss that truly never heals. Remember, my dear one, the connection of the essences is truly eternal. As energies, my dear, are connected always, so too are we able to feel your pain, your struggles, your despair. And though she has never left, her essence has always been near, my dear. At times, it seems not enough for you. Yes, my dear. I understand that I can provide you with many words tonight. And they will not share the same substance as her greeting to your will. But I assure you, my dear one, you may have lost a child within this life of yours for specific reasons, lessons, and growth. And her life, my dear, where you perceive it as a short duration, was a life, my dear, that she too learned much for the growth of her essence. That, my dear, I'm certain you will understand through all her accomplishments and the mere fact, my dear, that she was able to shine her essence in your realm more than others you've met. Remember, my dear, the beautiful essence she always was, in order to believe the connection between the two essences are, in fact, eternal, my dear. Hi, Mom. You're gonna start crying. You're gonna be confused. You're not gonna believe. But it's me, Mom. I feel your pain. It's never left you. Enough time has passed that you're trying to live your life again. But you're really not trying, Mom, are you? There's so much for you to live for and others to live for. I feel the anger, the confusion, the pain. But what I don't feel, Mom, is the love. What happened to the love? What happened to the love you had for yourself? Find out love, Mom, please. This is only temporary. It goes faster than you think. Don't waste any more time. Feel my love. Feel me near. Allow me to help you open your heart by entering it with my love. Love yourself again. Everyone loves you. I love you. But you have to love yourself to move on. I'm always near. I'm always listening. You can keep talking to me. I'm listening. But feel my love, Mom. I love you. I love you so much. Don't cry. I'm always near. I'm always near. Mm. You were able to feel that, my dear. You felt her essence. And you felt that love as it was being projected quite powerfully to you, my dear. Not only from her, but through all of us as well. It is not a remedy, my dear, to take away your pain. It is merely being provided in order for you to understand that pain is only of your realm. Love isn't ours. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we've come to time tonight, and I know you like to say a few words before we finish. So I'll pass back over to you for some just finishing words, please.
Much gratitude, my dear, for yet another opportunity to be heard. And much gratitude and honor to each of you. Remember, my dear ones, love, pure love from within, the true connector from essence to essence, is the one most powerful tool each of you possess to overcome any fear in your realm. Love yourselves in order to love others. And the more you love yourselves and love others, the more you will remember that our love, our realm, is very much a part of you and yours. Much gratitude.
Many thanks, Noah. And while Nico comes out of trance, I'll just fill you in about what we've got on tomorrow. Nico, of course, is back next Sunday at the same time at 9 o'clock UK time. So if we weren't able to get to you tonight, come back next week and hopefully we will get to you then. Okay. Tomorrow we've got Sheila Dougal doing psychic and mediumship readings at 3:30. We've got a sound bath healing with Laura Jones and her mum Rosie at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we've got psychic and mediumship readings with Stay Shaw, and at 9 o'clock, all of these are UK times. So if you're non-UK, please do time conversions. 9 o'clock, we've got lessons and learning readings with Larkin. Okay, so thank you for joining us here this evening. Nico, hi.
Hi, everybody.
A very emotional night tonight. Thank you. It was beautiful. Thank you.
I felt a lot of love.
There was. It was wonderful. Thank you. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you hopefully next week. Night, everyone.